Issues and concerns not on the regular agenda at this time. A public comment form must be submitted to the board liaison prior to the time the meeting is scheduled to begin. Public input on a regular agenda item will be taken at its appropriate discussion. Citizens should speak from the lectern, address all comments to the dais, begin by stating their name and address or single-member district number, and limit their remarks to less than 3 minutes. Any public comment? Okay, so consider approving the January 7th, 2026 meeting minutes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, then we will move on to the regular agenda. We're beginning with the election of chair of the board. Does anyone have any nominations?
I would like to nominate Ben.
I'll second that nomination. Is Ben willing to serve? Got my thing on. Is Ben willing to serve?
I wasn't going to nominate myself, but yes, I'm willing to serve. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion passes. Moving on to the election of vice chair. Does anyone have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Heather. Sorry.
Are there any other nominations or a second?
I'll second that.
Any other nominations? All those in favor of Heather for vice chair?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Heather, congrats on becoming vice chair. No one asked if you wanted to, if you were willing to. Okay, so moving on to the third item, consider a proposal from Rotary San Angelo to adopt Mountain View Park under a MOU and recommend any related matters.
Quick orientation for the location of Mountain View Park. It is off the Loop, Houston Hart Expressway, and near the intersection of Chestnut. Oh, that screen's not on. There's a button. Oh.
It's finicky.
I saw y'all looking over, it's like, uh-oh. So Mountain View Park, basically at the intersection of Chestnut and Mill Spa. Mill Spa is a street that's right next to the original Henry's. If you go north of that, there's the park. Zooming in, it's a good-sized neighborhood park on the northwest side of town. It has courts, it has open area for practice ball fields. It has a wooded area that has a playground with a new playground, and then picnic areas and a small walking path and parking. So we recently received a proposal from Rotary San Angelo. Basically, they'd like to adopt the park under a memorandum of understanding that would require city council approval. Not sure at this time if there would be a term limit for this MOU. There likely would be, but we're not sure what that length is. Their proposal includes a 5-year plan, so it at least need to be 5 years. The proposed improvements include things like signs, repainting, convert ball courts to pickleball courts, and things you see here on this list. So good improvements that the park needs. At this point, no playground because that was recently replaced. It would include ongoing stewardship of the park for 5 years and possibly beyond. And part of this proposal is implied that they would like the name of the park to be officially Rotary Park. And correct me on that if I'm wrong when you come up here, Mason. This name change in itself would require the board recommendation and city council approval. And staff does recommend approval of this MOU. And we need discussion and a recommendation. And I'll call Mason Brooks up here from the Rotary and also from the Area Foundation, but he's from the Rotary today.
Yes, I wear many hats. Everyone, it's great to see you. My name is Mason Brooks, single member District 1, with Tommy Hebert as my council representative. I'm here on behalf of the San Angelo Rotary Club. I'm the current president, but we also have our incoming president, Vicky Terrell, and our PR wizard, Laura Lacey. So they're here to provide anything that I miss. If you could go back, Carl, do y'all have like a laser pointer or anything?
No, but I can point out.
Okay, so we're simply asking to make improvements. Rotary San Angelo has been around 100 years. This is our 100th year of existence in service to San Angelo, and we're trying to commemorate that with, in essence, a gift to the city. When we turned 75, we gave $75,000 to the San Angelo Area Foundation and now give 12 scholarships a year. So what can we do to celebrate 100? And we thought, we don't have any place to call our own. What if we went out and got a park and put the Rotary signs, welcome to Rotary Park, and just, in essence, just beautified it? And so some of the things, and I know this is a non-binding, but some of the things we talked about was, first things first, signing it, putting signage up, welcome to Rotary Park, things of that nature. There's 2 tennis courts right there in the middle of the park. One, they do not have pickleball, but if you're familiar with Browns Park, you know, doing something like that, maybe a pickleball court and a tennis court. And obviously all of this costs money, and we'd be working with other funders in the area and also the Parks Department as we knock this list out. But some things include, you know, maybe eventually a sidewalk around the whole thing for walking path. TLCA is to the left of your screen, I think, over here. So it's a great park, and they've kind of adopted it themselves for field trips and things like that. But you've also got Lone Star Middle School, and that's a church across Freeland Avenue. So lots of community partners in the neighborhood. As they mentioned, it's a sports field for rec soccer and kids baseball and things like that. Maybe some updated lighting. I mean, I have this price list. I'm happy to pass it around. This is just something that you all gave to us as a what could be done. So happy to circulate that if you think, Carl.
It's
It's
most
in their
of these
packet, I
items.
believe.
So,
I think it's in the packet.
oh, it is in the packet? Okay, very good. But in essence, this is a partnership with the city and with the Parks Department as we make investments into the park, as we bring things to the park, obviously working with Carl and his team in a manner in which it makes sense. So, any questions for me?
I have one general question.
Okay,
Isn't there a skate park?
there is.
Didn't we,
It's on a probationary
That's,
roll.
that temporary probationary skate park is here. Remember, they're now on their 2nd year probationary status.
already? Oh, okay.
So we need to revisit that, particularly in part of this possible partnership. And the folks who started the skate park, they knew it was temporary.
Yeah, I just was talking about revitalizing the court. Didn't know what the plan was for that. There had been discussions already? If there had been discussions already
With
with their contract?
the skate park?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have an official agreement with them. It's just a probationary basis. But yes, I mean, they know that they're not there permanently. It depends on whether this moves forward or not and how, whether they can stay or not. When we're talking about doing the pickleball courts, that's not like something you'd do like right away.
Right, no, we would ask, and you can see in our proposal a 3 to 5 year stewardship approach. In a perfect world, this would be an open-ending term, or we reevaluate in X amount of years, but it would be as we get money and as we find community partners to come alongside us to do these things. And so year one could be signage and repainting. That's low-hanging fruit. Year two, we could have a fundraiser or a golf tournament like we normally do, and some of those proceeds can go to a pickleball court or to lighting or, pick something off the list. But what we don't want to be holding to is, hey, it's year two, where's our lights on the sports? We will go as money and partnerships avail themselves.
So I would just point out that it sounds like there's already a partner that you need to coordinate with us, and that's the skate group.
Yeah, so Kevin's a good friend, and we've already been talking to him about what we're doing. And we have the downtown skate park too that he's aware of, and some others but the ball is soon to be in his court on that. But I don't think the skate park staying or going is an immediate detractor from us coming in and
No.
beginning our beautification.
Just pointing out that
Yes.
there's already some community interest in something that's going on there, and if
Yes, sir, yes.
if you're going to sponsor this, you need to coordinate with them to make sure that it works out.
Yes, that's right, yes, sir.
We're willing to work with Kevin. We work well with him already on other skate park stuff to look for another location for their skate park.
I know when we talked about this last year, we highlighted that they really took care of that skate park and did a great job with it their first year. How is it still going with them? Are they still doing a good job keeping up with it?
Yeah, they're still doing a good job. It's just a lot of those components are made of wood, and with weather and rain, some of the stuff is starting to warp. So there's a lot more maintenance that they're having to come out and do. But it's not intended to last forever, and they understood that. So I think we're still in good shape, but for how long? Maybe just in time to raise some funds for a pickleball court. So.
Do we have any sort of partnership with any other parks similar to this?
With whom?
Yes.
Do we have a partnership with an organization on any other parks in town that would be, like, have we done anything similar to this before?
Not to this extent.
You have Kiwanis
Yeah,
Park?
Well, that's a long time ago in the past.
Right,
Kiwanis.
right.
A long time ago, before all of us were here. But I guess the Little Leagues would be similar.
Okay.
Who else?
Remind me, excuse my ignorance, but what is the Rotary Club? What is
Do?
your purpose?
Yes,
What do you
we're
guys
the
stand
best
for?
kept secret in town, thank you. We're the world's largest service organization. There's thousands of clubs worldwide. We are beautifying communities. Our club specifically is community impact and youth development. So what do we do? How do we do that? That's scholarships. That is service projects. If any of you were here long ago, we had the Hope House. That was a Rotary Club initiative with a partnership for our healthcare and those kind of on end of life hospice. So we fundraised for that. We're, again, the world's largest service organization. What we do specifically differs from club to club, but our club puts on a top 25 scholars banquet for both Lakeview and Central, for example. Our club is hosting an Italian foreign exchange student right now, and he's a junior on the soccer team at Central, and he's here for his junior year. Our club does a lot with Salvation Army. We were the predominant bell ringers during Christmas, and we would always make a donation to Salvation Army at the end of that, et cetera, et cetera. We've partnered with Goodfellow before in honoring their Students of the Month, and we gave them a grant to Operation Warm Heart, which many of you may be familiar with. That's what they use to meet the needs of their airmen and enlisted while they're here. So what we do is give back to our community, and again, our tagline is service above self. But unfortunately, we are the best kept secret in San Angelo, and we're trying to fix that by getting our name and our logo and our mission out into the community. Hopefully that answers your question, Alicia.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, guys.
So do we have, so what's our action on this?
I do have a question, Mason. Is that correct in terms of the name?
I'm sorry, officially asking you all to consider renaming Mountain View on all signage, on all websites, on all Google, et cetera, to Rotary Park.
So that's part of this proposal.
Okay.
So is
It
it,
seems like, sorry.
so no, go ahead.
It seems like a 5-year commitment to rename a park.
We would prefer
seems
longer.
Kind of underwhelming. I almost wonder if go for a longer, like 10-year.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I mean, we haven't really pinned down a duration for this.
I mean, did Mountain View come from any significance prior?
And does it need to be Rotary, Mountain View Rotary Park or Rotary
Yes,
Mountain View Park?
that's what I was gonna
There
say.
is no special connection to the name Mountain View.
Okay. 'Cause I don't
It's
even
just
think
a
there's a
generic-
Mountain View Street over there.
Well, it comes
It's a
from,
generic name.
if you look across the loop from it, you see that butte, that's technically Mountain
The San
View.
Angelo Mountains, yes.
But we purposely chose,
Wait, I missed it. Where are the mountains?
The San Angelo Mountains, yes.
and we purposely chose this spot because it's not previously named. Like, we wouldn't want to go after Unidad because that's specific to ADA, children with disability, et cetera. We wouldn't want to go rename MLK or Jaime Padron or et cetera, et cetera. So we looked at names that could be changed pending your approval.
So who is the authority to name the parks? Is that the
City council.
Okay.
With
And
the-
then my only other my only touchstone for this is, being an ASU person, if somebody wants to name something, there is an expectation of a significant financial contribution to do that. So, and I don't know if there are any city guidelines about that at all.
No, and there's not,
And I think this gets back to
It's
the
not a
kind of
requirement.
commitment that you already want to make, right?
Right.
And so so I want to be careful about this. I think this is a great idea. I'm really enthusiastic about it. I want to support this. But I also don't want 5 years from now to have Rotary signs that, this is now something else, and, there's a sign here that's not, you guys don't really have any connection there anymore, and, for whatever reasons. So, I mean, but there's no city guidance or policy on,
no. There is a naming policy for the process to name. It takes the board recommendation, then city council authorization. But in terms of naming, like we mentioned Kiwanis Park, it was adopted by the Kiwanis group, but at some point that did go away. And when we got the park, we got the sign and everything. So when that park was downgraded to open space, we took everything out, including the sign. So that did happen. The last park that was renamed, I think, was Rio Vista Park to Jaime Padron Memorial Park. There was no funds connected with that. It was to remember somebody. Kenneth McNeese Convention Center was renamed. There was no money or anything attached with that. He was a community leader. But yes, we do have a naming policy in terms of, or naming agreement with Citywise Marketing to rename facilities for a short term for money.
right?
That does exist.
I mean, the point is to make a win-win
Yes, sir.
situation here. Clearly, you all want to invest in this park. It would be great for the city for you to invest in this park, and and then one of your benefits, which is something you just said you're interested in, is the publicity to do that, put your name on there. So I guess I'm with a lack of city guidance, or policy about this. What is the mechanism for us to hold you responsible for to hold them responsible for this? That they're making a commitment, and for the marketing purposes of having their name on there, and we all want to do this. But what's the what's our ability to hold them to a commitment on that?
The MOU approved by city council. And we could have language in there that this agreement could be extended with mutual in writing approval, or it could also have language in
And the
there.
MOU, but
that-
the MOUs typically just say, you're gonna be responsible for some level of maintenance this for a period of time, right? That's all they say, right?
It's going to be pretty general, yes,
Yeah.
but at least have some mechanism for termination
And
and for performance.
and you all are responsible for putting the agreement together?
We drafted the agreement.
For the MOU, I mean, the city attorney's office will
Okay.
create the
'Cause
final
we
form.
don't approve the agreement, do we? Or do we?
No, but it would have some of the basic information key terms that we're discussing
Well,
now.
We're
So
just
there's-
voting for a
we're all talking about-
recommendation before council, right?
But-
We're aiming for a recommendation before this goes to city council,
Yes,
correct? Okay.
yes.
So in my and I would add to the recommendation that there be included in the MOU some expectation, I don't know how to say this in any other way, that there's going to be a significant financial investment in the infrastructure of the park. And I don't know what that means. There was a list of stuff there, but that doesn't, it seems to me, you've said you want to do that. You've also said you don't want to be held to, whatever.
I'm saying as-
$350,000 worth of improvements. I don't think we're expecting that, but we are expecting this to be in partnership with you and with the marketing benefits to allow you to put your name on the park. I would like to convey the sense that we're expecting something other than just maintenance and upkeep, but we're expecting park improvements.
Which I thought was made clear in the presentation.
I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just
Okay.
saying I want that as a member of this board, I want that to be in the MOU, because we're not going to write the MOU, and we're not going to approve the MOU. So I would like to communicate to the Parks Board, to the Park District, and then to, at least in my recommendation, would like that amendment, that MOU, to make clear that we're expecting some level of improvement, such as.
It's written in there?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We can make sure that's in there.
Okay.
Who
That's all.
provides the labor?
The Rotary Club and in partnership with the parks. I truly believe this is as we have something come up, we've talked to Mario about, we want to repaint the restrooms. Hey, Mario, what type of paint do we need to be in compliance? You need this type of paint. Great. We go to Home Depot and we, the club, have a paint the restroom service day. As an example, with Mario or a member of his staff as kind of the job foreman, if you will. Again, we're just kind of getting into this, but we would provide any labor needed. Now, we're not going to come mow the grass with the city lawnmower because they're already doing that. We're not going to repair sprinklers because that's already happening. We're talking about capital improvements to the park and working as a team with the Parks Department to make those happen.
And I'm completely in favor of that.
So there'll be like an agreement similar to the Little League organizations where there's city maintenance, sprinklers and mowing. Just
City
like
will
you mentioned.
provide, Rotary will provide
Right.
expectations.
Yes.
We're just taking pretty much an advisory role on capital projects. We're still mowing, we're still weed eating,
Right.
we're still tree trimming, we're still making irrigation repairs, but
Yeah.
we're taking on more of an advisory role to help the Rotary Club with specifics.
But just to confirm, improvements will only occur when funds are received.
That's correct.
So it's dependent on funds being received. So I think part of what I was getting from Bill saying is that you don't have the funds.
We do.
Okay, so how much funds do you guys have
I
set
don't
aside
have-
for Mountain View?
Well, we have $9,300 in a charitable fund at the San Angelo Area Foundation, and we have $5,000 available to us from the district Rotary grant that we can say we want to make improvements to X. So that is $14,000. And
But those
we-
that's maintenance level work. That's not capital improvement.
That would be capital improvement for a picnic table at $1,300. That would be repainting the restrooms at $700.
Okay.
That would be
It's not-
restriping
It's
the
not
park.
capital,
yeah.
but it is.
Yeah, that's,
Because the playground was replaced not too long ago,
Yes.
correct? So that, it's not like they're going in and needing to,
but pickleball's not.
It's $34,000.
What, Bart?
It's $34,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
not
I'm
gonna be
talking
cheap to convert that.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to come off as negative. I'm not negative about this at all. I just want to be sure if the expectation is that for the benefit, for the benefit of getting the park named, it's not just painting and replacing picnic tables. At least I would have an expectation that you're going to do capital improvements,
Such as
Well,
like the pickleball court or the,
Yeah.
right,
lighting, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And I
But
realize at the same time, and in absence of a policy that gives us guidance, I don't want to say, well, this agreement means that over a 5-year period, you need to invest X, $125,000 in it, because it just sounds like we don't have a way to do that, and you're probably not ready to sign off on that anyways. So I'm trying to figure out how to ensure that when we write this agreement, it's clear to you and clear to the city that we have no other parks where they're being renamed based on the sponsorship, right?
We don't have any parks named
Yeah.
for
So,
financial.
to me, that's a big deal.
Well, except for splash pads, but that's not
Yeah,
ongoing.
but I think that to play devil's advocate, if someone's saying, hey, I want to adopt this park and I want to put my name out there and my signage, if someone drove by and that park was looking decrepit, they'd be like, oh, that's the Rotary Club. Ugh. And I don't think that they want to, I would assume they don't want to go out and put your name on something and then not try to make it as great as you can.
Yeah.
Would be the,
Yes, ma'am.
Microphone.
How easy is it for y'all's organization to raise these kinds of funds? Like, are you worried at all about raising,
Not really.
$30,000 for the pickleball court? That's
No.
easy for y'all.
And I'll
Okay.
tell you how. We have a casino night betting on bright futures. 2 years ago netted 17, last year netted 14. We have a golf tournament in June. In June of 25, it netted $8,000. That went to scholarships, but we've already covered that, so we could reallocate, if you will,
Right.
$7,000, as an example.
Okay,
But
so
but here's where we have been not as active in seeking funding. We have the San Angelo Health Foundation, we have the Rotary Foundation, we have the Eva Tucker Foundation, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we've yet to ask them for anything related to this park, and we plan to do that as often as prudent, so.
Okay. All right, so you're not worried about finding the funds to make these
So
things
you can
happen.
find a few tens of thousands of dollars right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but any significant capital improvement is going to be more than that. I mean, pickleball is probably the most minor one I can think of that was on the list.
So what would you like to see at this park, sir?
So I'm struggling with this because we don't have any.
Well, I mean, another item that would cost would be the walkway that goes all the way around.
Right.
That's not going to be cheap. You're talking probably 100.
Oh, and I forgot Shannon Medical Center, speaking of
Yeah.
health and wellness.
Okay.
So this is a question for everybody because I don't know how to do this, but I mean, what I don't want is to have the same park that we have right now with painted benches and a little bit of Mario's maintenance work done. 10 years from now, and with the Rotary name on, with the Rotary getting the benefit to having the marketing with their name on it, and they really haven't done anything different than any other park sponsor has who doesn't have their name on the park. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and we could have a termination clause in there that
Yeah.
we can end the MOU.
Now, the simplest way to do this would be write an MOU. We're expecting you to invest, a minimum of, whatever it is, whatever the number is, thousands of dollars over a certain period in capital improvements. But my sense is you guys aren't ready to sign off on that.
Well, you've yet to tell me what capital improvements means to you, because that means different things to different people.
Well, I'm an engineer, so maybe.
I know.
So to me, capital improvements, well, I mean, the definition is something, it's something that lasts probably more than a decade, I mean, if you want to do it that way.
And
But we're talking
depreciates.
about, I mean, I don't even think of tens of thousands, I mean, to me, that number is like hundreds of thousands of dollars. The sidewalk would be, I don't know, $250,000 or something like that. I don't know what it is, but, something like that, right?
Right.
Right, and the pickleball court is, a conversion of an existing one is, I don't know, how much is that, Mara? Is 30, 50,000?
For the whole slab, probably about 30 to 40,000.
Yeah, and that's for some, on top, that's converting an existing one, right? So that's what I think about capital improvements. A picnic table is a maintenance, replacing a picnic table to me is a maintenance.
I would.
And I'm not arguing any of this is bad, don't get me wrong.
No, this would not be replacement of, this would be addition to.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where we got messed up.
Yeah.
These would be
That's
addition.
to me, that's a piece of equipment. It doesn't last that long, so.
Okay,
So this is about, on your list, you have about $200,000 worth of improvements.
that's right.
I guess the question is it worth $200,000 to give them the name of the park?
If they did 200,000, yeah.
Yeah.
So we could put that in the agreement that.
Over 5 years, we're
over
going to
these 5
contribute.
years, these are the improvements
Or
that
even
we
10 years, I
expect
mean, have to
to
over
make.
10 years.
Yeah,
10
10 years.
Or 10 years, these are the improvements we expect
I
to
mean, and
make.
I don't, I mean, do you have the ability to make that agree? I
And it
don't
wouldn't
even-
have to be, it would just be at the end of the 10 years. It wouldn't have to be every year, it'd have to be this amount or whatever, just, hey, you're gonna have it for 10 years, but at the end of the 10 years, you need to fulfill this, and
Yeah.
I would imagine that they would try to hold
I'm
true
good
to
with
what
that.
they say.
I mean, is there a number there that you think the Rotary could agree to?
I don't have one off the top of my head, to be honest with you. I thought this was going to be, we're partnering to make this park better for all concerned.
Well, I think we are.
We just want you to like think through it, but like, I think the numbers that you have on here, like I said, adds up to about 200,000. If you could say, we'll make a 10-year commitment and we will fulfill this list, that's a very reasonable ask in exchange for having the park named after your organization.
Or even, I mean, I'm just, in
I-
my
I
head
think
thinking,
the- on-
100,000 in 10 years, 10,000 a year, even if it wasn't everything on that park,
Yeah.
100,000 over 10 years into one park that someone's willing to invest.
It's great.
And
It's
it's
great.
10,000 a year, I think, I mean, you've already said you can manage 10,000 a year.
We can. I would argue that our friends in Del Rio, their Rotary Park, they put $5,000 into their park every year, and it's pretty awesome. But they also don't have any oversight from the city, et cetera,
Yeah.
so apples and oranges, but I would
Well,
just.
we're we're talking about the same order of magnitude either, I mean, 5, 10,000,
Emily Jane.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, I think we're kind of discussing like the real detail level here. I think big picture, we all think this is a great idea. I think collectively, what I'm hearing and feeling is that we're fine with saying, let's move forward with this idea, but I think we'd all be more comfortable with looking over this actual, the memo of understanding and, what these details, may look like. Is there a way to come back with the detail, like to give the recommendation to move forward?
So-
with
so our-
with more
To
detail
have a
oversight?
clear expectation of what's just gonna happen, because I think that the way that it's presented right now is these things could happen.
Right.
But it's not guaranteed to happen, which,
Is this a wish list, or is this like
This is
what
some,
you'll intend to
I would
do?
say this is I'm not going to throw him under the bus because he's my amigo, but Mario said, this is what we wish in this park.
Oh.
And here's some ideas for you to consider.
Okay, so this is the city's wish list.
And we're
currently.
happy with all of this. Anything in addition to what's there, in my opinion, is a betterment for the community and the park users.
So our responsibility is to make a recommendation to the parks.
To take to city council.
To parks and the city council, right?
Yes, and the
Well,
recommendation
It's
could,
not our responsibility to write the memo or approve the MOU or approve the MOU. So I
no, but
would,
part of the recommendation could include things you'd like to have in the MOU.
and so I guess my response would be to move that we support this with the expectation that for the benefit of them having naming rights, that the MOU include a specific statement about the scope of investment that we would expect over a 10-year period. And y'all can work out the numbers.
That sounds like a motion to me.
perfect. Yeah. I'll make a motion.
So move. Well, you get the second.
second.
You get the second, all right? Did that,
Thank you for your
and
time.
we want to do this,
Okay.
okay? But a little stick doesn't hurt with the carrot, right?
Right.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we
Thank
don't
you.
have a, part of the reason why I asked about just prior agreements, like this is somewhat new
What I hope
territory.
this to be is a test case in success for future organizations wanting to do this.
Yeah.
Because it costs the city nothing, and it gets us out into the community doing things. We used to have an adopt a highway. We're probably going to abandon that in favor of a park beautification once a quarter, right?
Yeah.
And it gets us into the communities. So I see this as a test case of success for future entities.
Yes, thank Thank you. for your
So thank you for your time.
Thank you. I would like a brief history of what happened with Kiwanis Park. Is it still Kiwanis Park? Is that still what it's called? And
No, we
No.
still refer to it as Kiwanis property. It's not a park anymore. It's downgraded to open space. So
Oh, okay.
I think sometime in the 50s when all that area was getting developed, I think Mr. Brown was the developer. He likely left that property for a park as part of the plat and somehow worked with the Kiwanis to help make it a park. So it's, since the 50s, it was Kiwanis Park until 2009. when it-
Okay, and now it's just open space.
And now it's just open space. There's no sign or anything
All
there.
right, but they never helped maintain it. It was always just sitting
No,
and that just
and even
happened
when
to
I
get named.
talked to the Kiwanis about it, they were like, oh, we had a park?
Oh, okay, all right.
It was a cool sign. It was in metal, it was wrought iron and painted their colors.
Yeah, I remember it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we had a motion and a second, but just for the record, for a vote, all those in favor? Opposed? Okay, next item on the agenda.
I will share the version that is created by the city attorney's office that we take to city council. I'll share that with y'all. So you'll see what's going to go to city council. And if you have any issues or tweaks you want to have with it, it'll probably be a few days window of opportunity that we can tweak it a little bit.
Next on the agenda, discuss a civil engineering conceptual design project regarding the Civic League Park, Lagoon, and recommend any related matters.
I'm going to do a quick introduction because I think, Bill, you're going to speak mostly to this.
Yeah, I guess I am.
But just a quick orientation, Civic League Park, which has a nice, cool sign. I should have included a picture of it, an entrance. You go by and see it if you haven't already. Maybe I'll include a picture. I'll send a picture to y'all after the meeting. This is where the International Water Collection is. It's along the North Concho River by the high school. Zooming in, the lagoon is on this end of the property. It doesn't look like that now. I've got some other pictures. It's below and downhill from the water collection. It looks more like this now. One half of it has water, and the other half does not. So this lagoon was created, I believe, in the 30s. As you see, it has stone sides, and some of those walls are collapsing. The bottom, as you can see, it originally has concrete. The concrete is filled in lots of places, and you can see with the silt and sludge, grass and weeds have grown into it. And going back here, there's a Gabion Dam that bifurcates it, and right now is not draining out into the other section very well.
Well, it's designed to be a debris basin right now, and it's functioning. And
So, yeah, let me, hold on just a second. And then there's a dam at this end which has failed underneath it. So the dam's not part of the scope of this project, but Bill can talk to you about the rest of the scope of the project.
So this is a capstone design project for our civil engineering classes graduating in May. There's only 3 people in the group, so it's a fairly small scope. We had a meeting with the parks staff last week. It was just last week, wasn't it? Seems like it.
Week before.
Yeah. To work out the scope of work. So there's 2 major pieces of this. One is hydrology and hydraulics. So that's figuring out how much water comes in, and how you could restore the pond and the hydraulics of that. And the second one is a water reuse project where it would be an investigation of the feasibility of treating some of that water for irrigation, for use as irrigation in the park. So there's 2 major scopes of it. What the city will get out of this is a lot of background engineering work on conceptually what's possible. They're not going to get a design. That's not, 3 students are not going to generate a design for a new dam and retention system. But for instance, they're going to look at lining systems and what lining systems you could put in there. I think we're going to include in the scope, they are not capable of designing the dam, but look at different dam types and opportunities and suggest a type, for instance. So that's what you'll get out of this. We're pretty excited about it. It's a pretty neat project. Students have already been out there They did some drilling and sampling last week and to find the concrete liner. They think they found it. And then at some point, I hope that we can get them to come to present to the board. I don't know, it depends on schedules. But y'all will get invited to their end of the semester presentation, which I could already tell you when it is if I looked at my calendar. When they do their presentation, that'll be on campus. That will be May, I think it's May 1st. I'm not sure if it's May 1st or May 8th now.
Are we looking at the board meeting in May, or are you looking?
No, I'm talking about when their presentations are for their final project. I think it's May 1st. I'll have to look that up and double check that.
So they'll come present to the board either in April or May?
I think we should try and find a time that works. You ought to be able to grill them. It'd plain be a good experience. So yeah, maybe May 1st would be a good time or April 1st, because our meetings are April 1st and May 6th, right? May 6th is kind of late. Let me figure out when it would be a good time. It'd be good for you all just to ask them questions and have them present in a public meeting and, get grilled. It'd be good for them. I can answer any other questions you might have about it, so. Right now, it seems to me the major use of the lagoon is a hangout for high school students before and after school with interesting things going on, like high school students will do.
I had a picture of this too that shows the inlets and the dam.
Yeah, can you go back to one of those overviews?
Which one?
To one of the so y'all know where. Can I just do this?
Sure. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So right along here in the river, this is a gabion. A gabion wall is those walls that they look like a basket, like a wire basket full of rocks. All right, those are called gabions. This is the one right along the river that you see that they put the Merry Christmas signage on at the walk. It serves as then there's this gabion wall that we had the picture of right through the middle of the lagoon. So this part of the lagoon traps debris, and then there's an overflow between there and this debris basin. Those were put in, I don't know when they were put in, but they were put in as pollution control for the river.
1999 or 2000, I think.
Yeah, the Upper Colorado River Authority had something to do with that. And they do a really good job of that, but that means we don't have a lagoon anymore, and they're full of debris. So this project isn't going to change the debris basin at all here, but it would look at removing this gabion wall and then turning this back into an impoundment. And then we still got to figure out how to capture debris, and that may happen up here on the other side of the street where it's actually school property now. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff that we're looking at. Does that make sense? Okay.
And coincidentally, at least conceptually for this park, as well as other parks along the river, we've kicked off the River Parks Master Plan. We'll have an update on that here later. But so conceptually, we could be looking at what it could look like, and then they could look more at the engineering aspects of it.
So I guess for your purposes, it's going to look more like an engineering study, not a design. They're going to design some stuff because they have to design some stuff, but it's really going to be an engineering study from the value that you're going to get out of that.
Any other comment? Questions?
Yeah, I don't know that we technically need a recommendation for this, but any input would be good.
I think it would be great for them to try to present at that April meeting. I mean,
Okay.
it would be good experience and good information that we can at least have and potentially pass along to the River Corridor Committee.
So I'll look at either the April or the 1st of April or the 6th of May, and we'll figure out which one works best for them.
Any other comment? Recommendation to move forward with this project or study?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Those in favor? Opposed?
What was the motion?
I thought you wanted a vote on this.
I don't know that we needed one, but it
We make a motion.
doesn't
Yeah.
hurt. It doesn't
Yeah.
hurt. But what was the motion? Just to move forward with it?
Move forward with, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next on the agenda, discuss a park system-wide playground replacement plan and recommend any related matters.
And Bill, you have to leave in about 30 minutes or less? We'll still have a quorum if he leaves.
Yeah. I've got 15 minutes left.
Okay. So, I mean, let me go through this right quick. It's a long list of locations. Emily, Jane, did you have something to say?
Oh, I have to leave at 4:30 as well.
What time?
I mean, I'll need to leave at 4:30.
Okay.
So Carl, we need you to sprint through it.
What?
So we need you to sprint through it.
I'm going to try. Okay, so I'm not going to talk with this chart here. There's a lot of small text. You have a handout of it in your packet so you can refer to it. But it's got a list of all the parks with all the playgrounds, the year they were installed, my assessment of their condition, our recommendation, and our current thoughts about what the estimated replacement cost would be, and then some notes at the bottom. The total right now for estimated cost for replacements of all the playgrounds, about $4.5 million. So first is Bell Park. I need to pull out my list so I can refer to it. Okay, Bell Park. So it has a playground unit. It's basically for ages 2 to 12. Ideally, if you have the money, the budget, the money, and the space, it's best to separate playgrounds out by age group, 2 to 5 and 5 to 12. A lot of cases, we don't have the money for that, so we do the 2 to 12, which is, it's okay to do. It's not against any laws or any guidelines. It's just preferred to have the separation, because you know kids, toddlers are more easy to get knocked down, and 5 to 12 is more rambunctious and likely to knock a kid down. Okay, so Bell Park is new. It's on the north side? Northeast side of town. Off Pulliam, behind Dunbar Restaurant. It's in good condition, excellent condition. We just replaced it, and so it's not an imminent need. Brentwood Park is recently replaced. It's a little more unique. It's got different play elements, not one playground unit. It's in excellent condition. Keep going. Brown Park is fairly new, 2023. Again, it's kind of just more individual play elements and a small play unit. City Park, done in 2008. I've got 2 pictures of it because it's a little sprawling. Try to separate, it's connected, but it's got a separate 2 to 5 area and a separate 5 to 12 area. It's still in good condition. Looking at replacing it about 2033. Another picture of City Park. Glenmore Park dates back to 2005. Again, it's a composite playground. If y'all noticed, we try to use different vendors for all the different playgrounds, and we don't go with like a cookie cutter design like the school district did in years past. We want each one to be unique, so there'll be a different experience. So families would tend to travel around town to see all the parks and playgrounds. Good to fair condition, replace it in 2030. Kirby Community Park has 2. Here's the ideal. We've got separate 2 to 5 and 5 to 12. Has 2 play units, different play elements, and a climbing space net. I don't think you can see it in the picture, but it's there. It goes up 20 feet, 21 feet. Our kids used to love to climb that. 2006, good to fair condition. It's starting to get on the horizon of needing to be replaced about 2031 or 32. MLK is getting towards the end of its life. Installed 2004, it's in fair condition, replace it in 2029. Middle Creek Park, fairly new, 2011, excellent, good condition, replaced 2036. Mountain View, fairly new playground, 2024, excellent condition, we got some time on it. Padron Park, but here we have the playground separated 2 to 5 and 5 to 12, installed 2013, excellent to good condition, replaced in 2038. Producers Park, separation of playgrounds, excellent to good condition, replaced in 2038. Rio Concho Community Park, 2009, it's in good condition, although the shade structures are fading a bit. And here we just installed on the opposite side of this, the shade pavilion. We just installed it. We got to finish up the concrete work, but finally, after 17 years, we got that put in. Takes time sometimes. That one it's starting to get on the horizon to be replaced. We're looking at 2034. Santa Fe Kids Kingdom, 2003. Yes, it's fair to poor condition. We got to replace it. That's the most imminent one. Unidad Park, we redid it in 2022. So it's good to go. Webster, that's the one we talked about here more recently with the shade structure. 2003, we need to replace it here. Possibly I extended it to 2035 because we're going to come in. We're looking at doing we're going to replace some of the panels and the roof and kind of bring it back up, kind of do a small renovation of it, pending that shade structure project. Okay, and I had some notes at the bottom of this chart. One thing I want to mention, Lake Nasworthy Parks, if you go out there, they have all the old metal equipment, none of the new, more modern composite playgrounds. It's not part of our oversight, our budget, but it's something that does need to be worked towards to replace those. Currently, I think there's 7 playground areas, and I would look at not replacing all of them, maybe just go in and replace 5 of them at some of the key locations. And the costs that I show here, except for Kids Kingdom, is as if staff did those in-house, kind of the way that we do them with the engineered wood fiber fall zone material. If you go in with the poured in place fall zone material, add shade and contract it, you're looking at probably 4 times the cost, if not more. Okay, so funding possibilities. One thing we've talked to the city manager about, he's on board, but we don't have the signature yet, is to capture salary savings. Parks usually has about 9 to 10 positions that are unfilled throughout the year. And so those salaries and benefits that aren't paid out stay in the fund. And with parks, they don't have a fund balance, so it doesn't roll over every year. It gets captured by the general fund at the end of the year. So one idea is to capture some, if not all, of those salary savings and bank it for future playground replacements that we could use to match with grants, local grants, other fundraising, maybe with the Rotary or something to do playground enhancements. Another funding possibility is half-cent sales tax for community projects. The last half-cent sales tax, in 2010 or 2011, had specific projects listed on the ballot. Those projects are the last one, the 29th Street complex renovation is about to be finished. So we're at the end of our funding, and then Santa Rita, there's $100,000 from that that's allocated for Santa Rita. But there is some money that's available through the Development Corporation to tap into for community projects. The splash pads tapped into some of that, I think $75,000 or something. They got some money from that. And I think we could too, also for playground replacements. Grants, definitely a possibility. The Health Foundation, also working with the Area Foundation for any folks who are interested in funding playgrounds. Fundraising, we have the foundation now, the Park Foundation. Less likely would be any kind of bonds. I think the last one we had was for Kirby in 2006. Pay-as-you-go capital, if there's any general fund monies that council wants to allocate towards capital improvements, it's a possibility. And then, of course, partnerships. So next steps, get a firm commitment from the city manager to bank some of the salary savings, begin the conversation with the Development Corporation on funding assistance, particularly for Kids Kingdom. And then as we go through this master plan, emphasize with everybody, and we did that today, the need to replace that playground there. And then continue to research possible grants. So that's the presentation. If there's any details you want to go into on any of these.
So will the capturing,
Wait.
on the salary line, like Mario needs those people to maintain the parks. And if we'd had all those parks, if we'd had all those positions filled, we'd have a lot better maintenance on our parks, right? So, I mean, I think that's our preferred use of those monies.
Absolutely.
So,
But if the money is there and it's not being.
yeah, no, I understand it. I'm all for capturing past money, but what I don't want to do is set the principles, oh, well, we didn't really need those positions
No.
anyway, right?
Our top priority within our department is,
So
well, number one, safety.
So that's
number
just a
two,
cautionary
staff.
comment, right?
I agree with
Okay.
you.
Yep.
Because I know what maintenance requires, and, I would, we would be foolish to reduce the maintenance budget with the hopes that, because it's never gonna make up the capital budget anyway, and it's, all it's gonna do is make more capital needs in the future if we're not doing proper maintenance. So that's my number one comment. The second one is, for something like Kids Kingdom, that is gonna be, that's a showcase thing and gonna be very popular, that's the one we wanna go after for special funding for that, whether that is a bond or, a big fundraising thing, because, and I think what we should be spending our other money on is these small parks out in the community that aren't gonna generate that kind of interest and potential donors and all that kind of things, because and this is an equity thing for me. We ought to have a shiny thing down along the Riverwalk, but that's the place where we ought to look for special resources to go fund and not be spending the money that needs to have, somebody's neighborhood park to have the equipment upgraded when it needs to get it upgraded, because that neighborhood park is not gonna get this kind of attention.
When do you submit your budget? When do you work on your proposed budget that you?
It seems like it's all year long.
Yeah, sure.
We're actually in the process now. It's a little different this year because we're looking at fees earlier. But the revenues we'll be looking at very soon. Actually, we haven't done it yet. And then we'll be looking at once they get all the anticipated revenues figured out, property taxes, sales taxes,
Right.
fees and all that, then they send back a target budget, usually in April or May.
Yes, targets usually April, May.
So like March, we need to make our wish list. Is that kind of?
That's operating budget.
Okay.
CIP is going to council probably in, gosh, I don't know, they change it all the time. Maybe March or April. The
Like,
next,
just
the next,
kinda how
well, the
much
next
time
big
we
thing
have
is
to- yeah.
a city council. Daniel wants to have a city council, kind of like a strategic workshop meeting coming up in March, end of February, early March. So
Okay.
that would be the first opportunity to raise the flag and say, hey.
Right.
And that's going to be on our list of things to mention.
Like, how long do we have to kind of share prioritization?
If we have, 'cause my concern right now is if we have two people that have to leave and then we're not gonna be in quorum anymore, can we
Yeah.
table this for
Yeah,
next time?
we can keep talking about this. I think we need to. Yeah, and I don't know that
Well,
I expected
went by Kids Kingdom because I thought that was the one. Like, I thought we were only going to talk about Kids Kingdom, and I would have maybe made different arrangements if I didn't.
Yeah, I'm dying.
I didn't
Okay.
know that it was going to be all encompassing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, at the last meeting, we talking about all the playgrounds.
I do really appreciate that you made this list.
Yes.
It's
But
very
yeah, we can
helpful.
we can hone in on Kids Kingdom at the next meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I feel like we need this like like the priority.
So, yeah,
and-
like whatever we can, I think where my thought process is whatever we can do to help go to city council or whoever to push for these things for betterment of our parks and systems in place going forward, however much we can be involved would be awesome. You know, going through your list of funding possibilities and
Well,
captured salary savings, like how much is their input on this board, the community, versus what can just be done with, oh yeah, that's fine.
well, a couple of thoughts there. So the River Parks Master Plan, which includes Kids Kingdom, that's begun. We've got a quick report on that if we can get to it. But there's going to be a public meeting coming up. We think maybe early March, maybe mid-March. So that's going to be a first coming up opportunity for anybody to say, hey, this has got to get addressed sooner rather than later. Another thought is it's always good for you because you've been nominated by the city council member and appointed by council to reach out to your council member to say, hey, this is what we're talking about. This is what's important to us.
I was nominated by you.
What?
I was nominated by you.
No, I can't nominate you.
I mean, I can go bug my councilman, yeah, but I mean, looking at the list, there are, out of the 15 parks, 8 of them, including Kids Kingdom, over the next 10 years showing to have to be redone, you know, and then it brings up the plan of, well, yeah, that's an estimated replacement cost, but are we gonna have to downsize because, oh, we don't have the funds, or, you know, there's nothing really in place that says we have these funds for these equipment, for these parks that is consistent every year and it's growing and we can utilize it. There's nothing for that, correct?
Well, the biggest pool of money would be the Development Corporation. I'm hopeful that
Correct, that's
if the data
another
center goes through,
conversation.
that would be new revenue, that maybe there could be a bond issue, but some cities, they do. They reach out and say, hey, we got to replace these 8 playgrounds in 10 years. Let's put 5 or 6 of these on a bond issue for this amount of money.
But like for the Development Corporation, you guys don't just have access to that
No.
portion of funds,
No.
correct? You have to go to them, you have to make a presentation, they have to approve it.
And then city council has to prove it too.
Correct, though there is allocated funds for those purposes of parks renovation. So I think that's another thing that, what are those types of things that we can look at and say, hey, that maybe needs to be readjusted. We need to look at this and we need to maybe make better use of that money.
I also think like Kids Kingdom specifically, and potentially even another, I mean, I'm already thinking that this is a subcommittee kind of conversation, like drilling down into, you know, maybe it's even like the community parks versus the neighborhood parks. But I think we all know Kids Kingdom's going to be a priority, and it's going to be a priority, I feel like, for the bigger community with the river project and the master plan. And we just need to make good plans, you know, like the planning part, and like how are we going to fund the next 10 years, you know, like I feel like there may be at least a subcommittee opportunity here for Kids Kingdom and any other high-profile community parks.
How much of how much does replacement renovation money has typically come from the M&O budget from the city, and how much of it always comes through a capital program like the Development Corporation?
Well, I think that's pay-as-you-go capital. If there's some money in the general fund that they usually allocate either to water or to streets for capital projects or other high-priority projects. That's a possibility, but not likely.
So it's most of the improvements came from like the sales tax or general bonds?
I think a bond is possible.
Yeah.
In the past, though, it was the funds for Kids Kingdom the first time around were raised by
Yeah, that was,
Area Foundation and.
The Health Foundation.
So it was a
Health
grant, so it was a
Foundation.
grant.
And
And it was a
Unidad Park was,
it was a community build too, so
Yeah, it was
didn't have the labor.
Unidad Park was,
This last time was, half of it was half-cent sales tax, a portion from San Angelo gives, and then Health Foundation.
So, I mean, but it's kind of being a reoccurring theme that it's not from a consistent fund, it's, we got lucky that we were able, that there are these avenues to go, but it's not a guarantee.
Yeah,
But
we have,
this is the way these always work, right? You pay for what you can pay out of your regular revenue stream with this, and these capital investment, you've got to go where there's big money in the capital investment fund, whether that's a bond fund or whether it's a federal grant, or, I mean, that's the way.
Yeah, but when
that's the way it
you
always
have
works.
salaries that are, or positions that are unfulfilled, and you have a salary that's set aside for that department, and then that salary's not being used because they don't have those positions filled, and then that money just is sitting at the city, instead of going into a fund that says, hey, we can better equip our parks because we have a specific fund. Now, of course, there could be a thing of like, hey, we want to do this big improvement, and that could require
Okay.
bigger funding, but
Ben, we're about to lose our quorum, so
I'm so sorry.
I have 40 students.
we're going to have to end the meeting if we lose the quorum. But, so as far as any future items, I'll add playground discussion, specifically Kids Kingdom. Anything else for future agenda?
I think this whole discussion,
Funding for park
the
improvements?
funding possibilities.
Okay. And then I guess I'll see if I can get either Tina Dishke, she was the finance director, she got promoted to assistant city manager. I'll see if I can get her at the meeting to help us kind of brainstorm how to fund these things at the next meeting. And if we need to set up a subcommittee to do that, we can.
Yeah, I just thought maybe we could, talk about that.
Y'all are serious about doing it, so let's keep it moving. I think we lost our quorum, so
Lost our quorum. So, adjourn?
we'll have to adjourn. We
Okay.
can't,
Game died.
yeah, no, we can't.
So do me and Mario go first the next meeting? Do me and Mario go first over our divisions next meeting?
We know you're doing
I
great.
tell you what, you can write a written report that we can email out to everybody. How about that? Oh, yeah, we can't keep talking. No, seriously. No. But yes, as